This video will cover how to create a recommendation report that summarizes your recommendations and can be printed or emailed to your grower.
Click on Generate Output Report here, and let's do a recommendation report. Now the recommendation report is going to show what recs are on which fields. Essentially, it consolidates that information so that it combines recs that are identical to each other, shows them essentially lumped together. So I don't have a header set up here, so I would need to go in and do my header and footer when I was setting up this template, but the steps to do so are very similar to the steps for the Scout rec. So you would go ahead and just do that as you work through each of these reports. Now, in my print preview here, I've got the 3 different recommendations. Okay? Recommendation 1, recommendation 2, recommendation 3. All right, and then what I have here is what the recommendation is, the total amount needed for the total acres that are listed on the bottom half for each recommendation. So this only has one field, and this is the amount needed for the 80 acres here. Okay, recommendation 2, different chemicals, maybe different rates here, and there's 2 fields listed. So this recommendation is going to go on these 2 fields. And up here is the total amount needed for all of these acres for each individual chemical. And note that these are in gallons, so these are the product units. This is what you have set as what the grower purchases this chemical in. So if it's purchased in gallons, it should be totaled up in gallons. Okay. Now, similar to before, there is that same report time frame tab here, and you can make that search back as far as you'd like. Now, there is another option here to include only the most recent rec in the time frame, or if you want to include all of the recs in the time frame. Okay, so all the recs in the time frame mean that if there were 2 recs made on the same field, 2 completely separate recs, that they should both be included in here. Okay, so this might occur if you're making separate recommendations completely for irrigation and chemical applications, for example. Click on the print preview. Now I can see that, there's additional data here. So it's actually this field 7. This had gotten the same recommendation 2 different times. Probably in this case, just by mistake during a webinar, but it might be this irrigation rec would be on this field 7, and then there would be another chemical rec, field 7. All right. Now, additionally, in this recommendation report, you can click on this crop field data if there are certain scouting data fields you want to have included. Okay, so these are a lot of the possible scouting data fields in the crop observations or field conditions tab, and you would just check mark which ones you would want to include, if any. Okay. And then in the options, there are other types of information that you can include. So similar to before, you just hit yes or no on what you want in there. So if you want the crop displayed, yes. Crop technology, if they're needing to make sure that they're not spraying on the wrong crop technology or Roundup or another chemical like that. You can include growth stage, general comments for scouting or rec, and all that can be included on that PDF. Okay. Now, when you save this report, it is going to save as a PDF. So what a lot of people will do is they'll save this report and use it for the growers that don't want to see, all the detail. They're never going to review all the individual field detailed scouting information. So they want to see this one, and it's just well, tell me what to do. This is a good report for that. You can still give that scout recommendation report with the details to make sure they have it, but time is limited all over, so we want to get the information as quickly and clearly as possible to your customer as we can. Okay. So let me close out of that. I'm not going to save the template.